everybody, thank you for joining and welcome to our Hero Hearings. This edition I will talk with Bart Thijs, business partner at Heroes and one of our sparring partners for customers who consider a cloud transition. Hey Bart, first of all, what exactly is cloud computing?
Cloud computing can be considered as a paradigm shift in IT. In the past, you would typically need a server or an on-premise infrastructure to run your application on. But in the current cloud era, that is no longer the case because it's fairly simple to deliver these applications over the internet. Cloud in itself is not new because it's been around for 10 to 15 years. What has changed though is the ever-growing adoption rate of cloud technology. And I think that has to do with technology becoming more and more mature and the ever-growing number of software vendors and service providers operating in the field of cloud. If you look at the benefits of cloud, I think in these days you need very good reasons not to consider it.
Can you tell us something about the benefits of migrating your applications to the cloud?
Well, cloud can bring multiple benefits to clients, and each of these benefits are related to cloud-specific features. Let me just name a few. The first one I would like to talk about is financial, because migrating to the cloud can result in spectacular cost savings. The cloud does not require any investments upfront in infrastructure or in the trained staff that will be needed to maintain the infrastructure. On top of that, the financial model that most cloud providers work with is based on the pay-per-use mechanism. And that means pretty much that you will only be paying for the services and features that you are actually using. If an application is not used, there's no need to pay. The second advantage I would like to highlight is related to the flexibility of the cloud. The cloud has the capacity to scale up or down automatically based on your specific demands. So if you have a web shop and it's very busy, it will scale up and it will scale down once the peak load is over. That combined with the pay-per-use model is very interesting because in the traditional setup, an environment is generally dimensioned based on the expected peak loads. Another example of a benefit is related to the workflows because cloud enables you to work anytime, anywhere from any device on your applications, and you can have your data available anywhere. On top of that, cloud will generally lead to a higher availability of the applications because maintenance can be done while online and even backups can be done while online. So in general, cloud will be a big boost when it comes to productivity and mobility of your workforce.
Thank you for this summary of benefits, but what are the most important reasons for customers to consider a cloud migration?
Well, to be very honest, I have never seen a client who just started a cloud migration project because they could. There always has to be a compelling event that justifies the investment and also the amount of work related to such a project. And I've seen different types of reasons that were triggering such a transition. The first one is related to organizational change. Companies who are confronted with mergers, acquisitions, or divestments may have the necessity to set up an IT platform in a short period of time. Setting up a cloud platform and migrating your business applications to that platform can be a very realistic scenario here. The second reason I've seen is related to the expiry date, the coming expiry date of contracts with service providers. For example, I've seen a client who was approaching the expiry date of their data center contract. They were in a situation where they had to decide, are we going to extend the contract? Are we going to go for another data center provider? Or is this the moment to take the step and migrate to the cloud? Well, they chose the latter. Last but not least, the ending support cycles on software or operating systems may be the trigger to consider a migration to the cloud. If you have to invest in software, you may do it in your legacy environment, but you may also use it to modernize and invest in the future. So this is also typically a scenario that we see occurring at our clients.
Could you also explain on how Heroes helps their customers to make the right decision, assuming that there are several roads that leading to Rome?
Well, at Heroes, we have developed a methodology when it comes to migrating applications to the cloud. Our methodology is based on several things. First of all, for us, it's extremely important to have a good understanding of the current IT landscape. So we will do a deep dive and do a proper analysis of all the applications in scope. Second, our approach is based on risk reduction. We want the migration to run smooth, and we want it to be successful. Third one, we are constantly looking for the justification of the project. So if there is no solid business case, our advice is not to continue with the project. And last but not least, we want to create a mutual understanding of all the work that is going to be done and how it's going to be done. So in that sense, we want to be fully transparent in working together with our clients.
Cool. And how does this work in practice?
Well, some clients do not have a preferred cloud target platform yet. In that case, we will be starting out by defining and validating generic requirements related to performance, security, compliancy. We will, of course, also look at the technology stack that is currently being used within our client, and the financial constraints, and based upon these, we will, advise to opt for a certain cloud target platform. Once that has been done, it's time to have an analysis of the applications. And we do so because we want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of the setup of the applications and we choose the right migration strategy for every application that we come across. The whole analysis is the basis for the business case. And the business case is pretty much the justification of the project. It will detail out the expected benefits, but also give insights into the expected costs, and it will form the rationale of all the work that needs to be done. It can also serve to create a common understanding, which will help us to work together during the execution phase with our client.
So that means a separate migration strategy per application?
Well, you said it yourself, there are multiple ways to roam, and that is applicable to cloud migrations as well. There is simply not one single way of doing it right. There are multiple ways you can migrate to the cloud, and we want to make sure that we take the right choice for every application that we come across. Let me elaborate a little bit more on this. In the most ideal situations, you would like your applications, your legacy applications, to become cloud aware so that they can benefit from cloud specific features. In order to accomplish this, it is inevitable that you are going to have to make some changes to the application. Such a migration project may vary from a refactoring project to a complete rebuild as a cloud native application. Doing this will be relatively expensive, will require a lot of effort, but it will result in the most added value. Another alternative you have is a lot simpler, and that's also referred to as the lift and shift scenario. And it's pretty much all about, taking your existing applications and redeploying them in the cloud platform with as little changes as possible. If you do this, you are going to be able to do it quickly, but you will not be able to benefit fully from the cloud, as the application was designed in the pre-cloud era. Third option is to replace your existing application with a standard SaaS solution. In the cloud era, there's a lot of software providers offering standard solutions from the cloud. In the case we have an application containing little business-specific logic, a standard solution may be a very appealing alternative, as we don't need to migrate any application, we just need to think about the data. Okay, then we have the last option, and the last option is pretty much the easiest because it's simply ignore an application. You would be surprised to hear how many applications we come across that are hardly ever used anymore or not used at all. If we come across these applications, our advice is always either switch them off or accept that they will be running on-premise as long as they are needed. But please do not invest in any cloud migrations for these types of applications.
Okay, clear. But once you have given the right advice, how does the implementation look like? Do you work with a proven methodology? And when would you say that an implementation is successful?
Well, a cloud transition is for many clients the starting point of adopting DevOps practices. So if you look at it in that way, a cloud migration is just as much a technical challenge as it is an organizational challenge. At Heroes, we have the expertise and the capabilities to help our clients with both challenges. When it comes to running projects, we usually start out by setting up a cloud center of excellence within the client. And that center of excellence is populated by a blended team of both heroes and also specialists from the client. We start out by, defining ways of work, train the team so that they can work together on the migration. The first project in a cloud migration is always about setting up the platform itself. After that, we can start on migrating the workloads. Initially with one, sometimes after the first successful migration, we scale up to run several workloads in parallel. But the main thing is that we do it together, and that during the journey, the project, we keep on coaching and guiding our clients. And in the end, I would say we are successful if, of course, all applications have been migrated, but also if we can be rest assured that the client is able to continue the operation, but also the further development of the applications without our help.
Thanks a lot, Bart. Nice to hear how Heroes can help you fire up your cloud migration. If you would like to know more, please contact us at cloud@heroes.nl. And for all of you, thanks for listening and stay tuned for another Heroes Hearing.